Hello, it's Heather here. I'm very nervous, very depressed today, just in a very shitty mood, and I'm trying not to be. And I got my ass out of bed, and I'm very proud of myself for that right about now. And I just got out of bed. I haven't even walked my dogs yet. Um, I've been sitting here I don't know what the hell you'd call it in all honesty, having a bunch of ramen shit going on in my head. Call it freestyling, whatever you will. That happens to me pretty often, pretty regularly, and it used to happen almost every damn day when I was younger, when I had a notebook that I used to write in that before I had a kid, or even when my kid was 1 and 2, so she slept, like half the day, kinda. Well, not really, but still. Anyways, she was just very, easily pacified, taken care of, You fed her, she was happy, she appreciated things. Little babies appreciate, as long as they're clean, and warm or cool, and they're not sick and they're fed, and you play with them. And then they have imagination at that point in time, so you can play with them for 10 minutes and then get up and leave them, and they don't freak the hell out, and they'll sit and play by themselves for the most part. They'll play with whatever toys is in front of them. For some reason, after about 2, if you don't sit down and play with them for an hour and a half and 3 hours and shit, I don't know what the hell happens between that age gap. I have no idea. But anyways, they want your full attention, But Lord, do they. And then the older they get, it seems that they want more. Or maybe that was just my child because I kind of catered to her. And that's one thing, too, that one of my friends says to her kid or whatever. She's like, I'm not your maid, And that's just like the deputy that come over and was kind of getting on to my kid and was like, you see this dog hair? She's like, can you get a broom and sweep? She's like, can you help your mom take care of the house? She's like, it's not going to kill you to pick up a broom and sweep it. It's not going to, there's a vacuum cleaner there. Vacuum it up, getting on to her, and I started crying while the deputy was here, and the deputy was it was a woman deputy, but she was kind of suck it up, and she's like, I can tell that you're just really stressed out and everything, and I thought to myself, oh, you have no idea. But anyway, I'm just really stressed out again today, which I am every fucking day, and I usually, can pretend pretty well that I'm not, to a degree, and I get up and I get past it, and as long as I don't dwell on it and I don't even talk about it, if I don't even talk about it or bitch about it or have anybody around to bitch about it too, then, it kind of just melts away to a degree, but then the deep rooted shit of it still's just boiling in the back, and everything. And that's dealing with depression and all this shit and everything. I've had some people tell me that they don't think that I'm depressed, and then some people tell me that they do think I'm depressed. Some people tell me that they think that I'm fucking insane and I'm crazy and all this, and then other people telling me that, I'm the most sane person that they met. I've heard every high and low of every opinion that has ever been in existence that could ever cross your fucking mind to label a damn person. That's the reason I'm humble in the ways that I am, to the degree that I am, and then I get hated for that, and then people are like, oh, you think you're humble, and then that's just somebody wrote me a comment a long time ago, I guess you'd say, or it might not have been that long ago. They're like, but are you really a nice person, or are you a nice, mean person? And I was like, you want me to show you a nice, mean person? I can show you a nice, mean person really well, I came from a family that, it's just, and that's the thing, though, is nobody can admit their past traumas for the most part. I fucking hate that and everything, and I'm just I want to smack you. Stop. Stop with this moral superiority high horse that everybody wants to get on and stay on, yet they're not on it. They're not. Nobody really is. Some people are just really good at pretending. It's look at my magic trick, And it's drop the facade, okay? Just drop it. Just be legit. Be real. And then I've got accused of being, like that person. Are you nice, or are you nice mean? And I've got accused of you're a people pleaser and this and that. And I've been accused of that. And then, I've been accused of, you're a kiss ass and you're this and that and a brown noser. And then I'm like, are you sure? Because you ain't been around me when, I had my fill and I tell people to fuck off. Okay, and then when I tell people to fuck off, those are usually the people that have judged me like that are like, whoa, damn, oh my God, she's crazy. And I'm like, nah, I just had my fill of people's shit. But man, I've just been through some shit. I don't even know what to think about myself. It's like I was watching a video yesterday and it was talking about God's calling and how, it's good to have hobbies. A hobby is something that you enjoy doing and it doesn't have to benefit anybody else. And I'm like, technically then I don't have a hobby, and I haven't had a hobby other than raising my kid, for her whole entire damn life, because I've literally put in so much energy into raising my kid. I don't have a hobby. And that is one of the things that she was not processing while she was home, because I've put so much into her and she was my hobby. She was my hobby. Like, I catered to her. I was a stay-at-home parent. Anything she wanted that I could do, that I was capable of fulfilling her want, I did, I'm talking, I'm the mama that's sitting there and I'm like, hey, you're bored. Well, here's a sheet and here's some books. Let's put the sheet over the table, put the books on top of it, then stretch it over the couch cushion here, and then stretch it over the couch, and then stretch it over this chair. And then we got a tent, and let's climb up in the tent, and let's read books, and let's do puppet show and get a flashlight and set in there. I used to be all about that shit, but since she got older, and then that's another thing too, my daughter just in herself and her own personality, and that is the biggest thing that people miss and fail at, is understanding that each living fucking thing has its own perception. And even if you put us into the fucking Myers-Briggs test, or any type of thing like that, or any type of label like me, oh, I'm an ambivert, and this person's an introvert, and that person's an extrovert. And I'm starting to wonder if I'm introverted and I've just been forced to act extroverted, but then again not, because I'm pretty wow and pow out there, so I guess I am extroverted. But that's like my damn cat, for instance. He has a certain way that he does things. He has a certain demeanor. He has a certain personality. He has a certain characteristic. My daughter, and she used to hate me for this. Oh my God, did she? She's a Gemini, and she used to get on my ass about me, calling her a Gemini and being like, you're just you're a Gemini. You're such a Gemini, and stuff like that, and I didn't even say it like that meanly, but sometimes I would just be like, oh God, you're such a Gemini. You're such a Gemini, because Geminis are very competitive. Geminis want to come out on top. Geminis will do anything that they can to a degree to come out on top, okay? They are very competitive. They are very driven, and not all of them are 100% like that. But I guarantee you can find a button in a Gemini, to ding, and they're going to go after it with everything that they got until they win. And, for crying out loud, I couldn't color with my daughter her whole life. Couldn't do it. Never. Sat down with her, taught her to write her name. She knew how to write her name before she was 2, okay? And then my dad showed her upside down how to write her name, and it screwed up her little child mind, in my opinion. And then from there on out, like, she would do her A upside down, like her little A or whatever. And I was like, no. And I was like, how does he not realize that him having the paper towards him and writing her name and then flipping it around, is not a way that you teach children how to write. You teach them to write the same perception, the same point of view, You're putting them in a box when you're like, get under me, and here's how we write, And then you can't sit there and write like this and then flip the paper and then be a little and understand that, But she used to be able to write her name really good before she was 2, and then literally like 3 months after learning it, my dad did that, and then from there on out, it was a hassle for like a year and a half to get her to write her name correctly. And her name's Ava, so I mean, it's not a long name, and it's not like it was a huge accomplishment for somebody that might have a longer name and stuff like that, but still, it was an accomplishment. I was pretty fucking proud. That's my baby. I'm going to be proud, But anyway, even though my dad kind of fucked it up. But anyway, so Geminis, they're very competitive. And, like, the first 2 or 3 times we sat down and I was like, hey, let's color, And, like, I'm actually wanting to color. So there's a hobby, I guess you could say. I'm actually wanting to color. I'm good at coloring. I'm decent at it. I grew up with a grandmother who literally, a lot of her life, my granny was sitting in the bed coloring, like that was her thing, and she was really good at it, and we learned to be really good at it from her, me and my sister both. Even though my sister took art class and kind of learned there, and I took a few art classes, but not as many as my sister, because I wasn't allowed to, because that was my sister's thing, which pissed me the fuck off so bad, the way my parents were. Oh my God, made me so mad. Y'all are sick. There shouldn't be things for certain children that you push them down a fucking alley. You should let them be good at whatever they're good at. And I had passion a little bit to do art, but no, I wasn't allowed to. Every time I tried to, every time I drew anything, every time she drew anything, and then we took it up or whatever, and I would be like, and I'm 4 years behind her. Y'all like, oh, that's good. And then my sister, say she'd draw something, I'd draw the same thing too. You just copying me. And I'd get in trouble and get my ass busted for it. So that teaches you to just be like, fuck it, I ain't gonna draw. Ain't gonna do it. No way. And then I was talking to one of my friends or whatever, because I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if she talks to EJ. I have no idea. It's got me paranoid as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. Or if she's crushing on me, or I don't know what the deal is. I have no idea. And maybe I shouldn't put this out here, but it's got me paranoid as fuck. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, I like EJ. Yeah. Like, that's who I like. And so anyways, she drew the other night when I was over there, and she was like drawing, and she copied something off the internet, or whatever. And as she started to draw, and like my friend, like I said in a previous video, you gotta have issues to get along with me. You got to, like you gotta have something wrong with you to get along with me, and I don't even know why. But I think it's not like you have to be mentally insane for me to get along with you. But it's more like you have to be able to have enough, common sense to realize you ain't perfect, buddy. Like, realize that. Then we can be friends. But anyway, so she starts drawing, and as she's drawing, she's like, yeah, I know people usually, like, draw circles, before they draw, like, the figure and the details and stuff like that. And she's like, I've seen people, and I know that that's the proper way to draw and do this and everything. And she's like, but I just don't. And I was like, fuck, that is me to a T. I don't. Like, I tried to in art class, and I did because I had to. Like, the one art class that I took in high school, and we only drew, like, 2 people, what the hell ever. The rest of the time, like, we was drawing, like, fruit bowls and shit like that, and, just regular everyday shit or something. And I think I actually got transferred out of that class. I can't even remember, because I don't remember that class that much. Or maybe we just focused on one drawing for a really long time, because it kind of seems like I remember that. And I think it was the fucking fruit bowl, or something. But most of the class spent their time laughing and giggling, and I was over there being Little Miss Details, making it look as realistic as I could, and everything. And then the thing is this is the same art teacher that taught my sister. She was my homeroom teacher. she pulled me up at the beginning of my very first year there in high school and was like, "This is Brandy's little sister. The one that helped make the mosaic table. The one that's the great artist. Her sister is the great artist that left Southeast." Yeah, that's the school I went to. But I'm just like, great, compared to my sister again. And then I'm like, should be proud of my sister, kind of. Even though she smacks me in the face, calls me a bitch, is nice to me only on occasion, and hates me. Yeah, I'm proud of her. She made a mosaic table, and I'm just like, can somebody just focus on me? I'm not Brandy. I'm not Brandy's little sister. I'm Heather. But then I drew that thing, and literally mine was, I don't know if it was the best drawing, but I know she called me up and she's like, "Look, class." And then when I went to go sit down, she's like, "You're really talented." She's like, "You can really draw really good." And I was kind of like, I know. But then I was just like, but nobody knows that about me. And nobody cares to know that about me because I'm just Brandy's little sister. Nobody cares. I'm just Brandy's little sister. Nobody gives a shit that I know how to draw. Nobody gives a shit if I know how to tie my shoes. My cousin Misty had to teach me how to tie my shoes when I was 11 years old because nobody could take the time to teach me to tie my shoes. I was 11 when I learned to tie my shoes. You know how old my daughter was when she learned to tie her shoes? She was like anywhere from, no, she was like 5.5. She was like 5.5. Learned to tie her shoes. I was 11, man. Like, do you know how embarrassing it was to be like 7 and 8 and 9 and stuff years old and you're having to like hold your shoe up or point, or snap your finger at your parents and be like, "My shoe's untied," or at anybody that's around in the family and be like, "My shoe's untied," and have the whole family be like, "You don't know how to tie your shoe," and then you're just like, "No," and then because it's too much effort, because they've wasted their effort on the generations of children before you, they'll just tie your shoe and be like, "God, I can't believe you don't know how to tie your shoe," and then you're on your way, and they do it so fast. And even when your mom tried to teach you when you were like 5 and 6, and then she just stopped at age 6, she was just like, "You didn't learn it? Fuck you," But you're like, "Can you teach me how to tie a shoe?" And nobody would. It's like fucking, what is it? It's like SpongeBob or whatever, where he goes around and he's trying to tie his damn shoe and nobody knows how to tie a damn shoe. And he's like, "I remember," or something like that. And then you go into school and you're with your classmates and shit, and like, you're like, "Fuck, can somebody teach me to tie my shoe?" And instead of them caring, they're just laughing at you. They're like, "You don't know how to tie your shoe? You don't know how to tie your shoe?" And so I had like 2 or 3 friends that knew how to tie shoes, And then there was this girl that, nothing against her. I still love her to this day. And she was one of my best friends growing up as a kid. But she's mentally, disabled. She was in like those classes for a few years during school, but then they kind of put her back in regular classes and helped her out and all kinds of stuff, which, I was in IEP classes. So, every day, it was like, "Okay, for 30 minutes, you got to get up and you got to come to this class and we got to teach you how to read because you're not understanding it from them. We got to teach you how to do math, But anyways, like, fucking hell, man. Like, do you know what it's like to panic and be like, "Oh my God, I hope my shoes are double knotted" before you go out the door to catch the bus all the way up until you're 11 because you don't want to have to deal with the daily struggle of tying your fucking shoe because you don't know how because nobody gave a shit to teach you. And then I even tried to have like 2 teachers that I thought were kind of nice during those years teach me. And again, didn't have the time, Like I would even go in like one time, like 1 or 2 times I went in like early from recess and I was like, "Hey, can you teach me to tie my shoes?" And they're like, what? And I'm like, can you teach me? You don't know how to, like, that's not a thing to say to people. Listen, open your fucking ears, okay? When somebody says, I don't know how to do this, don't go, what? That is the worst reaction ever. And even though I'm human, I've done it, I try to not do it, Oh God, I try not to. I'll be like, usually, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll teach you, or I'll help you, or, and that's the reaction you need to have instead of, you don't know how, it's just like, why did I even ask you? But, yeah, my life has been shit. Talk about the scapegoated child. Oh my God, it just makes me want to, like, vomit. But, so anyways, so singing and lyrics and poetry was my thing, my hobby-ish thing, or what the fuck ever, but I was really good at it. And, like, my best friend told me I was really good at it. And, like, I'm getting that she was my best friend, so I was like, okay, ain't nothing. But then my brother-in-law, National Guard Mr. Man over here, snuck his ass in one goddamn day. Thought he did. I heard him. I was like, I hear something. Somebody's here. But anyways, then he pops out of the room and he's like, you have a really good singing voice. You really, like that was a good song. Where did that? And I'm like, I wrote it. And then it's like, that was the end of our conversation. It was just 5-minute conversation. And it was just like, don't ever mention that you ever heard me sing. And then my sister, okay, this is like when Evanescence, this is when Evanescence kind of came out, and they were real big and everything. And it's like my sister's with him, kind of dating him, but kind of also like in the middle of leaving her previous, and all this or whatever. And so because I'm getting this confidence from my friend applauding me, and this is before I threw that notebook away, that I'm like, some little motherfucker made money off of my songs. I'm like, fuck you, I hope you die. I'm sitting here fucking struggling, I'm sitting here not driving, can't even drive my kid to the fucking park, and you're making money. Because I'm literally 100% convinced, and that's the reason, like, and then the stuff that I write now is not even as good as it was before, because when you're discouraged like that, it just fucks you up so goddamn bad. And then when you've had the past that I've had, and so I'm like, God, why are you doing this to me? God, what did I do wrong? What have I, And then it's like, okay, well, maybe it's just supposed to be a hobby. Like I said, I watched this video and it's talking about purpose and shit. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just supposed to be a hobby, but can it just be my hobby? And apparently it can't just be my hobby, because I can write a poem as anywhere from a 26 to a 30-year-old woman in my fucking home, and my landlord's going to come in and fucking read it and take a word out of it and walk around using that word. Like, thief, privacy. Hobbies, are supposed to be something that you share with people that you care about. It's not supposed to be things that you sit there and, you share with everybody all the time, and that people impede and push in on to see and to know about, if it's just a hobby. And then my friend that I was hanging out with or whatever, she's told me, she's like, you have a really good singing voice. You should try out for The Voice. You should do this. You should do that. And I'm like, I used to think about that. I used to think, man, I'm going to get my license. I'm going to go to American Idol. I'm going to sing. I'm going to have my baby with me. I'll figure it out, whatever I got to do, or I'll leave her for however long it is, a year, but no longer than a year with my folks. And I'm going to make some damn money, and I'm going to get my kid taken the fuck care of, like my kid's going to be bank, mama's going to be bank, like I'm going to have it money, I'm going to be able to take care of my kid, ain't going to be no, like worrying about her dad to a degree, because we'll still even go see his little meth head ass in prison on a decent-ish basis, because it's not going to kill her to get a hug from her dad every 6 months, even if he's incarcerated. Like, but no, my life didn't go that way. Instead, my life went to shit, because just shitty luck, bad luck, Bad, I don't know. Or I'm not doing something right. I'm not doing something right in God's eyes. Okay, what am I not doing right in God's eyes? But then it's like, oh no, suffering is part of life. It's going to happen. You know, and it's like, okay. But it's like, can I stop suffering so fucking much? Can I fucking be happy? And then that's the thing too about my friend. My friend was like, oh, you ain't depressed, you know, and stuff like that. And at first she was like, you know, you're depressed and you need to take medicine for it, you know, and like that's the reason there's medicine. She was all kind of pushy with that. And that's the thing too. She gave me a book and I seen it come up on Audible last night on my fucking news feed and Facebook or whatever as a recommendation from them. And it's a book called I Hate You, Don't Leave Me. And it's dealing with people with bipolar not bipolar, but borderline personality disorder. I had somebody get on here and accuse me in a fucking comment and be like, you know what's wrong with you? A borderline personality disorder. Okay, I studied psychology when I took child development classes. That's the reason I figured out there was something fucked up about my family, really bad, even worse than what I thought at that point in time. And I was like, oh, it's an incurable disease. So basically it's like, you know, somebody being an idiot and you just can't help them out of it, you know? And it's like, okay, my dad's a sociopath. No changing it. No changing it. Okay, my mom's a narcissist. No changing it. You know, and you can try to change it, but you're not really changing it. You're just learning to go with the flow. So for the rest of my life, I have to go with the flow that my dad is a sociopath, my mom's a narcissist, and my sister's the scapegoat child, and not the scapegoat, the golden child, and I'm the scapegoat child, you know? And we're all gonna be in this fucked up family dynamic for the rest of our lives until I'm fucking dirt in the damn ground. Same goes for them. So anyways, just 2 weeks ago, I guess, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have took offense towards that person saying that. Maybe that's just the way that person, I love how I can do that. I don't know why God has made me that way to where I can it might take me a while, but I can step outside of myself and be like, it's like I can change my perception. Like my very first go-to, you know, perception, I can step outside of myself and be like, now did I perceive that correctly or not? And that's like the thing that's like, oh, you know, and dealing with EJ and all this shit. It's like this post that's on Facebook or this meme or something, I don't know. But anyways, it said, trust the overthinker. The person that's the overthinker that says that they want to be with you, they've done thought of every fucking reason to not be with you. And then I'm just like sitting here and it's like I just want to hit myself in the head with something because I'm just like, yes, you know me. Who knew that? Who knew to write that? I've done thought of every horrible fucking outcome possible. Even though I don't want to sit there and admit it and I don't want to label them because that's putting it out into the world and that's asking for bad shit to happen supposedly and you're not supposed to speak negativity over your life and shit like that. But I done know, you know? And I know things can be worse. I'm not ignorant in that way. I don't, I just can't. But it's like, trust the overthinker because they've done thought of every reason to not be with you. And boy, have I. But I still, a year later, like you. Get the fuck over it, man. Like, damn. I'm sorry. And then you're mad at me because I did one thing. Okay, I did one thing and you're like, don't do it again. Okay. Oh, fucking K, man. Like, seriously, dude. Like, okay. I was the scapegoated child. Believe me, I know the difference between don't do this, you know, and continue, you know? And in all honesty, I mean, it hurts me, you know, it hurts my feelings and all kinds of shit, you know, and everything, but I'll deal. It ain't the first time my feelings have been hurt. You're not sparing me anything, you know, like, it's okay. I'm used to my feelings being hurt. Oh my God, I don't want to cry. But I'm used to my fucking feelings being hurt. It is what it is. I get my ass up and I go on, and I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't put a bullet in my head. I don't know why I'm not dead. I don't know why my suicidal thoughts just come and go because I push them away, and then they come and they hit really hard. And last night, I ain't even gonna lie, they hit really hard. And like, I was sitting here kind of crying, but then not, because I was like, I'm not gonna do it. It's like, you're gonna pick your ass up, you're gonna get your shit together. You don't know what you're doing. You're guessing at everything just to get through the fucking day. Especially since there's nothing stable anymore, you feel like, because you're fixing to lose your home, if you will, because you're moving when your lease is up. This place was never a home to fucking begin with. Your fucking kid ain't home. One of your damn dogs is missing. You got 2 people that you worked with that's like, oh, I seen your doggy. And you're like, why didn't you get him? Well, one seen him, and one says that her sister did. And it's like, why did you wait time to tell me? Could you not have looked me up? Was I not that much of a priority to you that you could have looked me up on Facebook right then and there and been like, hey, I seen your dog. It's down here. But no, nobody does that with me. Everybody's like 2 and 3 days later. It's like this relaxed momentum. And it's like that's been my whole life. I'm not important enough. I'm not a priority. I wasn't a fucking priority to have my parents teach me to tie my goddamn shoes, okay? I had to have my cousin teach me to tie my goddamn shoes when I was 11 years old. Priority is something that I know that does not exist in my life, okay? Unfortunately. I wish to God it did. I'm 30 and I just got my fucking license, man. Priority, I'm not any to nobody. And then when somebody even takes a little bit of priority, so yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I asked you to come over that night. And holy fucking shit, you did. And I get that you got mad at me, but you wrote me and you said that you wished to God that you wouldn't have even came over. That's really fucked up to me. And that's usually what happens to me, is when somebody does make me a priority. I'm human and I end up doing something wrong. And then they're like, I wish to God I never would have made you a priority ever. And then I'm like, I wish to God you wouldn't have neither, because it just got my hopes up. Fuck. I mean, do you know what it's like to be like, I need to go here. I need to go to the doctor. Fuck, I need to go to the doctor for my ankle. It's been almost 4 fucking years. Well, it's been 3 years. But still. And then you're taught, oh, don't talk to people about stuff like that, because that's private stuff, that's personal stuff. Your health is your business, this and that, and all kinds of shit. Oh my God, I fucking hate life. Everybody wants to be a priority. And I make people a priority. And nobody, I rarely ever get made into a priority. When I do, it is such a humbling experience. It is it makes me go, well, maybe I should stay alive. Maybe I do have good qualities. And then it's like, do I? Do I really? And then I'm older, so, I'll see kids, for instance, at work, and I'll be like, hey, hand me that, or hey, help me with this, or whatever. And I usually end up testing all the children like that, because they're children, they're younger, their bodies are supposed to be better, quicker, this and that. Even my own kid, hey, hand me the remote, hey, hand me this, hey, do this for me. Little things, because it's I'm tired of making everybody a priority and nobody making me a priority. And you made me a priority, EJ, whether you want to admit it or not, but you did. And I guess I thought you did it because I thought you liked me. And then everything I read and was looking up on, because like I said, I'm the overthinker, it pointed to signs of you liking me. Fuck, and I got you blocked. You got me blocked. We got each other blocked. Fucking hell, man. And then who the hell is this? I don't want to say their name, but I'm not stupid, and they're coming up in my fucking Facebook thing, and I blocked them because their account was just made 2 days ago. And they're related to you. I'm not stupid. Like, stop with the drama with me, people. Unless you're EJ and you're gonna talk to me about it, don't fuck with me. Okay? Y'all ain't my family. Like, don't fuck with me. Like, even though, yeah, I love EJ and I want to date her, and I haven't even dated her to see if we even like each other like that, even though I kind of thought that's where we was going. But I don't know if we could even get along, even though it feels like we could so fucking well, but y'all ain't my family. Like, stop sticking your nose in my business. Like, I put enough out here on fucking YouTube for you to know what the fuck you need to know. Then that's the thing too, I got to feeling guilty about that last night. Then I got to feeling guilty about yesterday's video and stuff because of things that I said dealing with the person that I was talking about. And I'm like, huh. And then one of my friends, like, you know, that's the thing too. So I got to feeling guilty about that comment because that person come across really fucking shitty, just like this other person come across really fucking shitty whenever I was like kind of being a little teasing, cocky, you know, and I was like, well, I guess I kind of did that to EJ, kind of made to where I'm always going to be somebody she's at least going to remember, you know, because that's what happens when you're like kind of in an intimate situation with somebody, you know, you kind of remember them forever and ever and ever and ever. But since nothing really intimate happened between us, I'm sure she could forget me in a year or two. Like, wouldn't be nothing. Because I'm forgettable like that, and apparently I'm not a priority to any fucking body, so why the hell would I be a priority that sticks in anybody's goddamn head? I don't even stick in my damn parents' head. So, I mean, you know, it's like, oh, ding, gone, bye-bye, you know. Oh, you ain't dead yet? You know, like, fucking hell, man. But, so anyways, one person made a comment and was like, oh, yeah, you just took advantage, didn't you, or some shit. And I was like, I don't know what the hell EJ has said to somebody or whatever, but I have not taken advantage of her. I'm sorry. Opportunities were presented. I did what I did with them. Opportunity comes a knocking, you know, you take a shot at it. That's all that happened. I did not force anything, any way, any belief, anything. I didn't hold her at gunpoint. I was in her home. She could have kicked me out. She could have screamed at me. She could have told me to get the fuck out. She could have done all kinds of shit. She didn't. And then, yeah, okay, I came back over. She come over and helped me to go do something. And then she relationship-ish type shit that wasn't a relationship. And I don't know. And she's crying and I can't handle it. And I don't want her, I love, you know, like, you don't, if you care about somebody, you shouldn't want to be like, oh, they're crying. Serves their ass right. And you shouldn't stay in that mindset. You might be in that mindset when it first happens, because I ain't even gonna lie, I was, because I was like, oh, she's crying. I've been crying for weeks. It's about damn time she cries. Whenever her friend told me, lied to me, I assume. Or so it seems now, looking back. And it's like, y'all in y'all's own little shit bubble over there, and just keep your shit bubble over there, and I'll keep my shit bubble over here, and our shit bubbles don't have to touch each other, okay? Like, seriously, like, we don't have to, my bubble, your bubble, my bubble, like, not because that's what I want, but damn shit fuck far. If you're not going to be part of the solution, don't come in knocking and causing a fucking problem. And I'm sorry if you think that that's what I'm doing because I'm sitting here talking about the shit that, I went through with the situation. But I'm a very, very highly sensitive person. And hell, I can remember shit that happened to me when I was 2 years old and still talk about it today and bitch about it today and be upset about it today. So yeah, something that just happened to me within the past year. And then the fact that I was even dumb enough to drop my walls, I guess you'd say, and allow that to even occur in my mind's eyes and behaviors and their behavior and so on and so forth. And now I have to live with this for the rest of my life. And if I look into the future and the future is unknown, and all I see, if it's a negative outcome of this situation, which is never seeing each other, never talking to each other ever again, I have to carry that with me. And if I can carry a memory at 30 from 2, I don't know why the hell I'm not dead now, because I'm tired of carrying bad memories with me. Not because I can't let go, but because I want to let go, but every time I do, something shitty like this happens, and it's just like, oh no, you're not a priority to anybody. You're not good enough to anybody. You're not worth talking to. You're not worth kind words. You're not worth people biting their tongue and not saying really hateful ass things that they know is gonna cut like a knife. Like, my husband one time when we was out, we went to Arby's. And I was so busy talking to him, and he was so busy talking to me, and I got Gemini, like, in my natal chart where conversation lies. And then he's a fucking Gemini, so that's one thing me and him, when we got, just like with my kid, when we got on a roll, we wouldn't shut the fuck up. And we're talking laughing and giggling and talking and just shits and giggles, if you will. And so I'm venting to him. He's driving, going down the road, and he's like, hey, where you want to eat? And I'm like, how about Arby's? And he's like, okay. And we pull in, and I'm talking so much as, like, we're in the drive-thru and shit that I couldn't remember what I wanted when we pulled up there. And I was even talking to him about that, and I was like, I can't remember what it is that I want. Like, my mind is just, like, not even there, but my belly knew what it wanted before we pulled up here, or what. Like, I'm like, I don't fucking know. And, like, we get halfway back home, which we live a pretty decent ways away from the Arby's that we went to. And there's like 2 Arby's where we live. And we get halfway back home, and it dawns on me, or whatever. And I'm just like, shit, I know what I was wanting. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I wanted a turnover. And he's like, you wanted a turnover? And I'm like, yeah. And then I started, like, kind of pouting because I really wanted one really bad, but I just couldn't. My mind was focused on other things, and I couldn't think. And I was, like, really excited talking to him about, like, how great our day had been. And I think it was around Christmas time, so I was talking about how excited Ava was going to be about her gifts and about how this was going to be the best Christmas that I thought she was ever going to have, even though it wasn't, because Casey, man, his demeanor, like, he just stood at the back of the couch, like, the whole Christmas morning and didn't say a word. And like I said, Gemini's, and acted like he was, And he was. I mean, he was. And that's the reason he used to comment on what a good mom I was, is because he was jealous that he didn't have that good of a mom. And that usually ends up being the case with most people when it comes to me and my kid. They're like, oh, you're such a good mother. And then they start getting jealous because they're like, why wasn't my mother like that when I was a kid? I wish my mom would have been like that. And then they're like, there must be something fishy going on between their relationship. I'm going to find the problem in their relationship. Oh, here's the problem. And they look for a problem, and then when they find it, it's like a free-for-all, and it's like, everybody wants to attack the one problem that me and my kid have, which is mainly that we can't shut the fuck up sometimes. Like, literally, we cannot, and I'm not talking arguing, I'm talking just sitting and talking kind of like what I am right now, and her talking to me about the bully at school and this and that, and by the time we look up, 4 hours has went by, and we're just like, oh shit, we gotta hurry and do everything. Hurry and do homework. Hurry and take a shower. Hurry and do this. Hurry, hurry. And even when I try to stop her, because I've let her have so much of the reins, if you will, little Miss Independent thing, which I adore that I taught her to be independent in that sense, I'll be like, okay, I listened to you talk about your problems for an hour and vent about it. Can you please find something to do? Do something. Go ahead and take your shower. But it's not time for my shower. I know, but go ahead and take it early. Do something. Just hush. And we can't. I don't know. And then I'll sit there and then I'll be like, hey, let me tell you. And then it's like, Mama, and I'm like, sorry. And then I'm like, okay, we're going to watch the movie in silence. Not talking. Because I could talk forever. And so could she. So that's one of our biggest problems. And that's the reason it's like, I'm like, well, God, why couldn't you just give me one other person that gave a damn enough about us to live in the house? Because when my husband was home, we didn't do that, even though he was a Gemini. Usually me and him kind of did that, but since he's a guy, guys don't talk as much as girls. So when I would kind of be like, like I'm trying, I want to actually watch the movie and not talk through the whole movie and pretend like I watched it and waste the power that it takes for the TV to be on for us to watch the movie, and he would kind of get it. But then again, he probably pouted in all honesty, and that's probably one of the reasons he's like, you hate me and all this shit and everything, and his own issues and shit, and I'm just like, you want to work on it or you want to not work on it? And it's like, I'll work on it if you accept all the blame. I ain't doing that, and then I ain't the one that's been cheating. I ain't accepting no fucking blame for it. Fine, I ain't cheating. I don't know what you're talking about. Left, never come back. Even though the pictures and the text messages and the pictures that were on my computer told a whole different story of what you've been up to, buddy. But okay. Life is difficult. God, is it? And so now my kid's taken from me because, yes, I was stressed out because me and my kid talk constantly. My kid's talking constantly for 3 fucking years to a degree about this bully at school, and I'm doing everything that I can. And then my kid is whining and talking constantly about how I'm not doing as much as I used to. No, honey, I'm not, because I'm working. I'm the provider now on top of the regular housework that I have to do. Then on top of it, we're managing a house full of pets relatively well. So get off my case. You can't even manage your bedroom, and I am managing an apartment with 3 dogs, 2 cats, and before kinda she left, a bird. Like, I have 7 babies, if you will. And even though one of my babies starved to death and died because I was trying to teach my kid a lesson about taking care of her pets and being responsible and all that, and it was the bird, and I fucking hate it. I cried. Oh my God, it broke. I don't want to talk about it. A part of me died, I guess. And that's the thing too, is what is it? There's this, little cartoon or whatever that somebody made, or this little skit or whatever, and I've seen it before, but it's like what's it called? Fuck, I can't remember. It's like a blacksmith or whatever or something like that, but it's like something dealing with somebody that fixes hearts. And this guy takes a piece of his own heart to fix this guy's heart, because this guy comes in and his heart's really broken and bruised, and he's like, can you fix my heart, or whatever, so that way I can give a good full heart to my fiance because I'm fixing to get married. Heartsmith, there we go. That's what it's called, the Heartsmith. And he's like, I don't know, this heart looks pretty beaten and broken, and I don't know if I can fix it, but I'll try. I guarantee you I'll try. And so the dude ends up taking a piece of his own heart, or what's left of his own heart, to fix that guy's heart, which he's done for other people before. And, when you give so much of something to somebody and everybody just keeps stepping on it, and then you become this kind of, you feel you're becoming more empty to a degree, but not in a way, that leads to you're a cold-hearted person. You're still a kind, caring person because you still have your logical mind that can kind of keep you on that track. But it's like it's just a form of depression that just fucks you the fuck up, man. Just fucks you the fuck up bad. But anyways, I'm running out of time bitching about all this shit. But this person was like, do you have borderline personality? I mean, not borderline, borderline personality disorder. And they was real smart ass about it. So I looked it up. I took the test. I was like 4 points over, being there. But then I wasn't even on a scale of there. And whenever you go and you read what it said that more than likely I was suffering PTSD. Which, when I went to my counselor before, when all this shit happened with my kid, and we're talking and everything, she's like, you might have a form of PTSD because you had some very traumatic events you lived through in your childhood. And I'm like, I fucking know this. I done knew this, but I'm letting you make the evaluation, and the cure-all evaluation, if you will. The one thing that it's like, yeah, this is what's wrong with you, is like, yeah, depression, and all the other stuff is just like questionable little tidbits, and so that's what that said whenever I took the borderline personality test. Oh, you might be suffering PTSD, and I'm like, no, fucking shit, I've known that. I try to tell people that. I try to tell people not to do certain things, just like this dumbass I was working with. I was like, stop slapping that and making loud noises. Stop doing it. And he's laughing and giggling, and he does not understand that it literally makes me want to grab him, slam him up against the fucking wall, and just be like, I fucking told you, stop it, ah, And then people can hear that, though, and they can be like, oh, God, you don't need to be around children. My brain is so fucked up in my shit and everything, or whatever. I know kids are kids. Kids cannot cross that pattern with me, or that thing with me. When they do something loud and unexpected, I usually just like, really? And then they laugh, or I laugh, and I'm like, ha ha, that was so funny. Ha. And then they're like, and they do it again. And kids are worse than fucking adults. But you look at a fucking adult and you're like, stop doing this. Have respect for me. Stop it. Please. And that's the thing, is we live in the most unrespectful, disrespectful fucking ways that are imaginable. And that's the reason the world is going to hell in a pretty little handbasket with a nice little bow tied on top. Like, here you go, Satan. Jesus Christ. But anyway, so I took the test. So my friend apparently took the test too, and it came out that that's probably what's going on with her. And in all honesty, a little bit that I have read up on it, I'm kind of like, maybe that's more of what's going on with her than anxiety. And then that's what went on with my cousin Misty. My cousin Misty was paranoid schizophrenic, borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder, or I'm just picking up on that she was borderline personality disorder because But it makes so much sense. And then she had so many husbands, and that's the thing with them, is like they cannot regulate, and like it, and that's like what I'm dealing with my friend, and that's the reason like sometimes I'm like, but I've dealt with my cousin Misty, and I can I can subjectively like deal with that a type of shit, I guess. And I don't mean that in an offensive way. Everybody's got their shit. I got my shit. People need to learn to deal with my shit if they want to be around me. But this is a whole level of different shit that I do not experience myself, that I have witnessed from my perspective before I met you. So you doing this to me, and it's like, when you love somebody or you care about somebody is the best way to word it. When you care about somebody, you're going to deal with their flaws. And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'll deal with your flaws, and she deals with mine, to the best of her ability, I believe. But then again, I don't know, because sometimes I'm like, is she really dealing with my flaws? Does she know that that's fucked up? Like, don't, And so, and I'm just like, EJ, like my mind just keeps going back to EJ, and like I need to talk to EJ, and I want to talk to EJ, and EJ, and EJ, and EJ, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Life is very difficult. And then it's like, okay, and that's the thing too, like last night I was looking up and it was like, okay, pansexual and demi-romantic and all this, because apparently it's done got out, I feel like, to some, even though hardly nobody's watching my videos. So apparently who is watching my videos? A big ass blabbermouth. And so apparently it's got out that I'm pansexual. So now the few times that I've even went out, I feel like, into society, it's like there's the look that I'm getting and stuff. And it's like, oh, it's like that look, and it's like, pansexual does not mean that I am a whore. It does not mean that I sleep around with anybody and everything. It does not mean that somebody walks up onto my porch and I'm like, hey, honey, you want to fuck? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I know, come on. No, that's not what it means, okay? You need to educate yourself, okay? You need to look up what it means. It means that I'm willing to have people, be with people and have sex with people that have any gender that they consider themselves to be up under, okay? Transgender, like male, female, whatever, intersex, it doesn't matter, I'm not about that. Like I'm not picky, I guess you'd say. I'm not limiting myself. And that's the reason it's pansexual. But guess what? It's demi-romantic. So I'm a demi-pansexual, I guess you'd say, is the word that I looked up last night, that it was like, yeah, that's what I am. But I would rather just be like, I'm demi-romantic and I'm pansexual and I'm a female, okay? And demi-romantic means that you cannot, be with somebody unless you have an emotional attachment, an emotional bond, a close bond, a strong bond. You feel drawn to each other in that way, in romantic feelings, in romantic ways. And even though I could be like, well, I'm demisexual, demisexual does not go into the details that I want it to. Even though demisexual is kind of the same thing, but it's dealing with your sexuality. And it's like, hey, I can't have sex with you unless I have an emotional bond with you, which is the same thing that kind of demi-romantic kind of portrays and leads into, or what the hell ever. But I like that pansexual puts the allowance out there for, like, if people wanted to know if they were transgender and they were crushing on me, that they can come up to me and they can approach me and be like, hey, would you like to hang out and have a cup of coffee and talk, and get to know one another because I think you're cute, That's the reason I say pansexual, is because I want anybody to feel like they can approach me regardless of their gender. But then I don't want people constantly approaching me because they think I'll just fuck them. And I mean, hell, I've only been with 2 men. I'll put it out there. I've been with 2 men in my life. Never even been with a woman. Never even been with anybody that is any type of other sexuality, because the way that life just is and it works out. But I don't go out here and I don't fuck around. And then people that even look up like polyamory and all that, or polyamorous and this and that, that does not mean that the person just goes and fucks around. And I cannot stand that men, it's men's thoughts that's like, oh, so you're just a walking sex toy. I can just fuck. No. And people that think that and everything else. But Jesus Christ, I don't know. And I wasn't even going to get on here and bitch about stuff. At the beginning, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to get on here and I'm just going to do like kind of like a free style type poem type thing, because one of my other friends the other night was like, because I wrote something to her and I was like, yeah, fuck this shit, fuck that, and she was like, oh my God, that's so funny. And then she's like, well, I'm going to get off here and I'm going to write some poetry. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, yeah, I'd do that. I was like, but I've been there and done that. And I was like, I ain't doing it, And I was like, childhood trauma and depression and shit kind of does that to you. It kind of sucks the life out of you, makes you not want to do anything. And you're just like, why even try to do the things that I like? Why try to do the hobbies and stuff? And that's just like with my kid. Couldn't even color with her. Tried to. First 3 times was relatively successful. Next thing you know, she's taking a crayon and she's scribbling over my picture as I'm doing it. And my child knew how I was, about certain rules, even though my rules were kind of, or whatever in her childhood. But I was like, no, this is my page. You color on your page, I'll color on my page. So she keeps scribbling on my page. And then it took me like 6 months of trying to sit down and color with her to realize why she always had to scribble on my page. Even when she'd be like, okay, this your page, Mommy? That my page? And I'll be like, yeah. So I'll color my page and she'd color her page. Well, I noticed that she was watching me color more than anything. More than focusing on her own coloring skills, she was focusing on my coloring. She's a Gemini. She's competitive. So then when I would lay the book down, I'm done coloring, we're done coloring, we're moved on. We're 3 hours into later on playing, and stuff like that. Then my kid goes over, picks up the coloring book, flips to the page that I colored, and takes a crayon and draws all over it. And she kept doing that. She did that for a while, and I'm just like watching her, And then I just kind of confronted her one day, and I was like, why do you keep doing that? Why are you running Mommy's pictures? And she's like, Mommy pictured better than mine. And I was like, but Mommy's older. Mommy can draw better. And I was like, you keep trying. You'll draw better and color better like Mommy does too. And like, it just didn't happen. Like, she just couldn't handle that. And so any picture that I colored there for years when she was real little and stuff, she would go behind me and scribble and rip it and all kinds of stuff. And I was just like, so I can't even enjoy a hobby that I kind of like with my kid that I thought I could. And that's just like her hair being long, wanting to braid it and stuff. Now, she let me braid it every day like a regular braid because to keep people's hands out of it and shit. But for as far as like, the little cutesy hair designs and stuff like that, kid wouldn't sit still. Kid hated it. Like, she just wasn't about that life. And it's like, come on. I kind of wanted a son. I got a daughter, And then I got a more feminine daughter than what I thought I would, But then she's still pretty tomboy. She'll still kick your ass if, you need her to. But I'm going to end it here because it's at 63 minutes. I don't want it to cut me off like it did the other day. I hope you're doing good. Push through your shit. Oh, that's the thing, too, is I started crying, and I was like, maybe I should just kill myself before fucking New Year's. I'm useless, and I shouldn't be here. And it's like, how am I going to do all the shit that I need to do, and just panicking and shit, but then not. I mean, I'm not that bad, but I just wish somebody cared about me, I guess. And I don't mean that, like, if you're my friend and you watch this, don't be like, I care about you and you don't think that. But I wish somebody loved me, I guess is the best way to word it. I wish I was a priority to somebody. I wish I could call somebody and be like, I need you, and them show up. And so, EJ, if you never do it again, at least you did it that one night. I'll give you a thumbs up right there, even though I feel like taking the thumb and shoving it up your ass right about now because I'm so fucking mad at you, to be honest. And then I'm not really that mad at you because what was I expecting? To be treated differently? I've been treated like shit my whole life. And I'm still alive and kicking. But anyways, anybody that has, any type of fucking shit that they're going through, push through it. You need somebody to talk to, hit me up on my Facebook Messenger, look me up, type in Heather Myers. You might have to scroll for a minute. I have a picture up. I'm not one of those that has, because apparently there's like 50 million that's like, private and shit like that. And I'm not the one that does the photography or what the hell ever and shit, because there's some Heather Myers that has like a photo studio. Because I typed in my name last night and found all that shit. But anyways, just type it in. You'll see me. I got my hair down. You can send me a message. Make sure it's where I can send you one back. We can talk, like I'm not a suicide prevention person-ish type person to talk to. I've talked to one of those when I was a teen once before, and I was just like, you're making me feel kind of worse about shit. And I was like, so I'm just going to get off here, and I'm going to deal with it my way. And that's the thing, is like, I'm so down to earth. You could call me and be like, I'm going to kill myself. And I'm like, why? And then you're like, because this happened and that happened. Like, you can give me details. It is what it is to me. I've done heard it. I've done lived it. I've done seen it. I've done experienced it. And granted, I may not have experienced it firsthand, and it may have been secondhand and from somebody's story, but they ain't that. It takes a lot to surprise me, I guess, with the way people are. But I'm going to end it here. I hope you're having a good day. Stay positive. Push through the shit. Get your ass out of bed even though you don't want to. Fix yourself something to eat even though you may not feel like it. You may think you're too fucking fat to be eating. Clean your house. If you got a house to clean, force yourself to do something. Find some good music. Find some good music to listen to, if you can, and your stereo's not fucked up because somebody fucked it up, you feel like, and you know who it was. But you're not going to say who, not in this video at least, and have yourself a good day, And so I'll catch you later in tomorrow's video, and just stay as positive as you can, keep on pushing, Catch you later.